the University of Common Sense. I guarantee you, if you listen to this show, you're going to say yourself, and you're going to realize why we are number one with millions of listeners. This is a hot show. Lord have mercy. Hit me, turn it up a little bit, Kiki. It's the holiday. The FCC is on vacation. Hey! This show is going to get hotter than Donald Trump makes some of the community sometimes. Lord have mercy. So this show is going to get hot.
Well, I am Judge Matt McMonagle.
All right.
Are you Judge McDonald, one of his sons?
I am Richard McMonagle's son. My father was on the bench for 36 years and just retired in 2015. And my grandfather George was a judge before him.
Yes. Which court are you on?
I'm in the Common Pleas Court General Division.
What does that mean, General Division?
General Division is responsible for civil cases with no monetary limit and then felony level criminal cases.
Your dad was Richard McMonagle?
Correct.
All right. At that time when your dad was on the bench, that was the time that I was going through the court system. And I had the dubious distinction of going before your father. And I have to say that Richard McMonagle, Judge Richard McMonagle, treated me fair. Treated me very fair. I was into some difficult situations at that time. That's why I follow your career, because of your dad. And I must say that he really helped me out, Richard McMonagle. That's your dad.
That is, yeah, and I'm glad to hear that. I mean, when you're talking about the judicial system and judges, I mean, the name of the game really is fairness. It's about being fair, being, firm, being just, being compassionate. But, at the end of the day, it's all about being fair and treating people right.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so how long you been on the bench?
I have been on the bench since January. I was appointed last December. Took the bench in January, and for an unexpired term, which ends next January. That's why you'll see me on the ballot in November, trying to retain my seat.
Here's what we like to do, Judge Matthew McMonagle. Here's what we like to do. We like to give the full name because, listen, after we vote for the president and the senators and the Congress people and you name it, oh, we are excited, and we are checking and checking. And by this time, we get down to almost the last part of the ballot. And here come these judges. And listen, it's happened to me, Judge. Many times I get down to the judges, and I'm all excited with the president and the senators and the Congress, but here the judges are. Oh, my goodness. Am I just going to check a name, or am I going to really pay attention to who I'm dealing with and make this ballot correct? Many times I just wound up checking a name. So here's why one of the reasons you're in here is because we're really introducing judges to our millions of listeners so they'll know about you, so they'll know about who your father was. And they know that you will be a fair person on the bench. So that's what this is all about. So right now, I want you to hit us with your best shot on why you should be retained as judge of Common Pleas Court.
Well, I think you bring up a good point, first of all, is that the judges and judicial candidates are at the bottom of the ballot, and most often, or more often than not, people don't know who they're voting for and really tend to skip the judicial races or just pick a name. For me, what I try to encourage people to do is, if you know a lawyer, talk to that person. Talk to them about the judges and judicial candidates. See who they're voting for. See who they recommend. The next step, which we have in recent years, the Judge for Yourself ratings group, which is made up of 4 major bar associations in the county. They rate the judges and judicial candidates, and you can go to their website at judgeforyourself.com and check out the ratings for the candidates for each individual race. For mine, I'm happy to report the ratings came out the other day. I got an excellent rating from the criminal defense lawyers, a preferred candidate rating from the Cleveland Metropolitan Bar Association, and a rating of good, which means well qualified, from the Norman Minor Bar Association and Women's Bar. So I'm proud of that. The other thing I can say is I've got a lot of trial experience. I bring a lot of trial experience to the bench. I left a partnership at a very successful law firm to take this position, and I really feel like the work that I've done in the past 9 months on the bench speaks for itself, and there's no reason that I shouldn't be elected in November.
Sir, but at the time that I went before Judge Richard McMonagle, I was on probation, all right? I was on probation, and so he told me, it was the first case, but he said, you're on probation, and don't come back to see me again, boy, okay? Young crazy like I was, I messed around and caught another case, and so and I went into the courtroom with a public offender. He had a nice, strong voice, but other than that, I think I might have been his first case. So here I am standing before the judge again. I'm already on probation with him, and Lord, they said, well, you go back before him again, like it might be bye-bye to you, Art Mckoy, I went back before him again with this legal aid attorney, had a good voice, but other than that, I don't know. But anyway, the moral of this story is your father saw something in me that said, we're going to give you double probation, boy, but if you mess up this time, it's over. I realized the opportunity he was giving me as far as diversion. He gave me 5 years probation. People say, oh, no, you can't make 5 years probation. I said, yes, I can. I made that 5 years probation, and my life has went up since then. So I'm a true witness that diversion really works.
Yeah, it does. And, sometimes people don't deserve just one second chance. Sometimes they deserve another chance, So I'm a believer in second and third chances. And you're right. Sometimes you do see something in people that come before you that, sparks something and says, hey, this person deserves another shot.
But at the same token now, I'm relating back to your father, all right? I don't want to come through your court, all right? But I'm relating back to your father. Your father was also known that when the time was right and the person needed to be penalized, he would stick it to him. And I could understand that too, because some people need to be in jail. Do you carry that same sternness, or are you just a soft judge?
No, I can be firm when need be. And you're right. Some people aren't going to get it, and probation is not going to work for everybody. There are some people who just don't want to do it. I've actually had people ask me just to give them a prison term. They didn't want to do probation, which, is kind of a shocking thing to hear. But no, there are people that I've put on probation and said, hey, look, this is your shot. Don't mess this up. If you do, and you come back here on a violation hearing, you're going to be going to prison. And, it does happen. And that's kind of the balancing act that we have as judges, is to say, hey, is this person going to be successful at probation? Do they need prison? Is prison needed to protect the public? And if so, that's what you got to do.
Phatty Banks, I know you're coming in the next hour, and we got we're going to bring this thing to another level. But you work with a lot of youth and a lot of different programs. Even though you're the music general, you also believe in uplifting individuals. You have any question or comment for the judge?
Well, let me tell you about my experience this past year. New Tech at East Tech, we did we did a project-based learning piece on government. The kids had to write bills, submit them. There's a long-going YMCA program. Are you familiar with that? Where the kids go down to the state, they have to present bills.
Children.
Yeah, the youth, high schoolers. So our East Tech kids, we had 40 in the project, They submitted about 5 bills. They got 3 across the floor. So that was my first experience actually being in a state building. Just seeing the whole process. I mean, uh, and it's a political time right now, so it was like right on time. So great experience. We took the kids to D.C. Um, as well. They went to Columbus, D.C. I don't know how many.
Well, the way I run my courtroom generally is I handle criminal cases in the morning and civil cases in the afternoon. Now, certainly, if there's a trial going on, we take care of the trial and try to take breaks where we can and fit other things in. But yes, I mean, my docket consists of almost an equal number of civil and criminal cases.
So, Judge Michael McMonagle, what is your passion for being a judge now and wanting to continue to be a judge? It has to be a passion, doesn't it?
Well, it is. And, I got to say, my law partners, when I left the firm, thought I was kind of nuts for doing it because I left a successful law practice to take this position. And, it really is a position of public service. I thought I could do good for the community in this role, and I think I am doing good. So it really, for me, I've got the right temperament for it, the right experience and trial court experience for it, and it's really something that you really do kind of feel that calling to public service, and I'm really enjoying it so far.
Well, you're still a young man, a young judge, no doubt about it.
I'm relatively young. I just turned 40 this year, but I think that's a good thing when we get a new perspective on the bench and, some new experiences and a new viewpoint on some things going forward. Well, I'm very much in favor of training programs like that, trying to keep people out of the criminal justice system. We do have a number of programs through the court. Treatment alternatives to street crime is one of them that addresses some of those issues. But I'm very much in favor of schools and getting back into more vocational and skilled trades training. I think if you offer that, at an early age in high schools and things like that, it offers people more opportunities. And hopefully, if you're in a trade like that and you're working and you've got some pride in what you're doing, then you'll stay away from some of the crimes that we're seeing.
No doubt about it.
Well, I'm the right person for this seat. I think in the last 9 months that I've been there, I've shown that I'm a capable judge. I've got the trial experience and experience it takes to be a good judge. I've got the right demeanor, the right temperament, and it's exhibited by the ratings that have come out through Judge for Yourself. I rank higher than my opponent in those ratings. I've got more trial experience than my opponent, and so far, there's been no reason for me to be removed from that seat on the bench. So, again, I encourage your listeners to go, ask attorneys who are the right candidates for these positions. Go to Judge for Yourself and the other websites. There's another one, Judicial Votes Count, where you can find out additional information about judicial candidates. And please visit my website at judgemcmonagle.com, and you can find out more about me and my campaign.
Show we have today. And Phatty, you got some stuff you want to tell us, and I'm ready to hear about it.
Well, several years ago, I think the first one I came up with was 2008. I wanted to figure out a way to bring the hip hop community together and do something positive for the youth. 2016, this is like my 10th year of doing youth programming. I used to just work with kids like on a Saturday. Children.
Go ahead. Don't worry about the judge. She gonna do her
And
thing.
she real close to me.
All right.
And I don't want her to do nothing to me.
That's
You know
all
what
right.
I'm saying?
That's all right.
And I'm gonna get this. This is new to my vocabulary, kind of.
That's
sorta.
all right. That's all right.
I say youth. Can I say youth? Because I say youth a lot. Is that fine?
That's all right.
I'm gonna try because I don't want no trouble. Okay. But I used to. I got custody of my own children when they were 2 and 4, the first
right.
two. Then a daughter. Before you know it, it was 8 children.
Yes.
8 children.
8 children
Wow.
on Huff. in a
Goodness.
4-bedroom. It was a studio in the basement, and it was real. So I've always been really working with youth. I have my own mini little group home. Mr. Starworth over there, always been around helping me out with my
Sure.
children.
Thank you.
Fatty,
Yeah.
let me get this clear, cause you're giving me, as long as I've been knowing you, I don't worry about the judge, okay? She gives me too.
I'm worried.
Whatever
I
all
got
right.
my own.
Yeah.
All right, so
You
listen,
do. When you
you're
have
telling
children.
me that you started out uh, raising 2 children on your own, your children.
Right. I had to drop out of the Art Institute. Knowing now I didn't have to drop out, I could have had Human Services come out to my
But you didn't know
place
that then.
in
This was new to you.
Pittsburgh, right? And but yeah, I left school to become an engineer, audio engineer, producer, kick off to a music career, and because they told me my kids was in a foster home.
Yeah.
So
Go ahead.
I came home. Me and my mom, Messenbaum, the Messenbaum Jane Hunter building.
Yes, clear.
Yeah, so I got all my social services training, a lot of it from just trying to obtain custody of my children. So, me being in entertainment, I made great. I made a great income, or good. Let's say good. I'm not gonna say great. Let's say I did all right as a DJ. I worked at Vale's on the Circle at the time, but the state looked at me being considered self-employed, that wasn't good enough. So it was tough getting my kids at first. So I even had to go carve some meat at Country Buffet,
Yeah.
and I was a popular DJ. It was okay when I was just bread and chicken in the back. You couldn't see me back there hustling,
Right.
just trying to get a pay stub to show the court that I did have a job. They didn't really look at me being a DJ as,
Yes, sir.
a strong enough source of income to raise, 2 children. So it took about 2 or 3 years. It took me to get a young social worker fresh out of college. She was African American.
Mm-hmm.
And she was probably in her early, no, she was, mid-20s. But when she saw my case and saw all the trainings I've been through, and I come from a solid home, and I was stable. I had a home, went to court, and it was done. And I even got paperwork from social services asking me if I was pregnant when I came to court. They wasn't used to dealing with a guy trying to get custody of kids back then. So
Absolutely. And it's hard now. I know how hard it was then. No doubt about it. I know how hard it was then. And you actually got custody of your children.
yes, I did. They created Reading Round. So you got to think they met their uncles, and you know how you call your close friends uncle, and
Yes.
cause one of them was your son.
Yes. Yes, sir. Yes.
So they had Midwest Mafia as their uncles, and
Yes.
Uh,
Sean. Yeah.
people like Mr. Greedy, your son,
Yeah.
was like they role models, and a lot of the artists I work with, a lot of them came from the hustle struggles, but at the end of the day, they knew their daddy was doing music, so they started getting into a lot of trouble. What I really found out now that I know about social emotional learning, we'll probably talk about that later in the show. That's what a lot of the curriculum I use in programming. But SEL is responsible decision making, is self-awareness, social awareness, self-management, relationship skills. So a lot of our youth are lacking that. A lot of our community is lacking SEL. That's why a lot of people are so impulsive to do a lot of things, and a lot of them get put in a box for it. A lot of them drop out of school for it. A lot of them get in fights. A lot of them get into a lot of altercations. That if they just really took a step back and evaluated the situation, they would handle it different. So, I got into DJing from anger management. I had to go to Murders Taylor for anger management. So I started DJing at 13 years old. And I started playing football. So I found out if I go tackle somebody real hard, they applaud for me.
Yes, yes.
If I do it in the street, I back in court again in front of it was a judge. I don't know who the judge was, but a lot of my staff, a lot of the camp counselors, it was like a bullying situation at the end of the day because, I was partly on Tarkington Miles with my mama. My grandmother was on 101st and Cedar. My other grandmother was on 116th and Kinsman. So I was well-rounded. But, when people feel like they can take advantage of a situation. So it was the last day of camp, and I lost it a little bit. So I'm glad I went to that anger management program because, that changed my life. It got me into music.
How old were you then?
I was 12.
All right.
And I gave a young man a concussion.
All right. So prior to that, had they diagnosed you as ADHD or what?
I was special.
Uh-huh.
I was always doing something. Just put it like that.
Yes, sir.
And now knowing me, looking at some of my children, how they think, it was just I didn't have no outlet.
I understand.
And my mom, my mom's a musician. A lot of my family's in education. She just didn't understand like hip hop or what I was into.
Yeah.
It's funny that I play by ear, but my mom tried to teach me how to play because she went to Case and Cleveland State, and and I just wouldn't sit there. I was too impatient to sit there and learn the notes. And then when I got turned out by the turntables and making music and making beats, that's what I got into.
So were you able to make it through the turbulence that you was going through as a youngster without medicine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's very important because
it was music.
Yeah, that's very important because even today they're eager to prescribe medicine for our youngsters.
Right. Me, and clearly I'm not a therapist, but once a lot of your staff, a lot of your associates are therapists, my executive consultant is a licensed therapist, and they're great at what they do. What you start finding out is it's not really it's ADHD. It's really that it's some type of issue that needs to be addressed a lot of times, and it's not medicine. It's really some type of abuse that they're receiving somewhere.
Yes.
Along the chain, along the line somewhere.
Yes, please, sir.
It's long, so I don't remember even where we were.
I'll tell you where it was. You were in the system, and you all of a sudden you had all these children to bring up as a Singaporean. You went through the steps.
At the end of the day, the problems that my kids were having is because they really didn't have a mother.
All right.
So you got to think about it. All their teachers, probably 85% of their teachers are females, as well as their principals. So they didn't do well with authority with, women in general. Now, me as a young guy in his 20s trying to raise these kids, all I know is to get them, put clothes on them, resources, video games, a roof over their head.
Yeah, you're special.
But every day they was getting suspended. It was something disruptive going on. So now understanding social emotional learning.
Yes.
Really what was happening, it was just because they didn't have a mother. So I couldn't even put my feet in their shoes. I didn't see my father as much as I wanted to at all. When I was young, and I used to be angry when I couldn't go over when I wanted to go over, things of that nature, and I would take it out on my mother because, you know, sometimes when Pop pick you up, you know, you can get the triple from Wendy's, but with Mom it's just the single, you know.
Yes.
But Mom is buying socks, shoes, you know. Mom is feeding you every day, taking you back and forth to school. And when you young, you don't you can't grasp all that.
Absolutely.
So my kids really is what got me coming into the schools to find out why they were so disruptive. Then that's when I realized everybody was disruptive. it was a lot of disruption going on everywhere, and basically at the end of the day, it's a long story, so we don't get off subject about the game. I basically tricked some young men in an alternative school to do a song with me. I made a track just like I would make a track for an artist in the industry, right in the classroom, and I made them rap about science. We wrote the verses right out of the textbook. You know, they wasn't happy with the song. Now when I made the beat, they was excited. Everybody was, but all that's called is engagement. At the end of the day, I could make them do whatever I wanted them to do because now they my people. I know their name. They know my name. They feel like, hey, he came 2 days in a row. He gonna come tomorrow. I built a relationship with him. Now at that time, I just looked at it as a way to give back. Now it all makes sense what I was doing. So it's project-based learning. That's what they were doing. We took science and flipped it into a project-based learning. So basically what the science teacher was trying to teach them, they wasn't interested, but because I gave them an opportunity to get on a microphone like this one over a nice track, now they're engaged. Now they're doing the same science they just had an F in. And they was like, I think on the average in the beginning it was about 38% improvement in their test scores alone. And a lot of the kids were in credit recovery, a lot of issues like that. But the program is called Reading RAM. RAM stands for Recording Arts, Music, and Media. That's how it pretty much established and started, but it has evolved over the years to we do student and teacher focused programming with social emotional learning. But at the end of the day, media is the engine. Which is what I've been in all my life since I was 12, 13 years old. Well, at the end of the day, I feel like this is a technology driven world now. So
Absolutely.
I feel like media is going to be the engagement piece, period, for anybody, any school, any curriculum. If you go into a university, if at church, how many churches use media now as their a big part of their service. So it's just being, so I love the University of Common Sense because I have a high school diploma. But I'm working with folks that have a whole lot of initials and letters behind their name. But at the end of the day, it's common sense. And I feel like that because I'm out of the box, I am now considered an educator, but because I'm out of the box, I kind of took what I saw, what they needed, and I just figured out a way to teach it to them. So you put my program in a classroom with a teacher, we had great successes. So this is my 10th year. I love what I do. I'd rather deal with a knucklehead youth than a knucklehead adult. So I'm still doing music.
I love it. Yes, I love it. Yes.
A lot of people feel like is a problem with a lot of our youth. But at the end of the day, youth need to just listen to music like they watch movies. That's how it should have been in every era of music. It's entertainment. It's not. I feel like the way a song is written, it can do something for you emotionally. It can as well teach you. But if you look at every song and then try to live it or portray it, you're going to always have those problems. But if you make great decisions, you can listen to any song and still go have a productive life because that was just a song. That's all it was. That's how I feel about it. And we can't judge the youth Because if we had everything that you can obtain in a phone, when we was young, we'll be messed up too right now. You'll be copying and pasting. You might not read as strong either because you would copy and paste. We couldn't copy and paste. We had to read the encyclopedia. We had to go write down notes. We couldn't just Google information about something. But on the other hand, that's why you have no excuse not to be educated, because you can Google anything. Anything. Just got to find credible sites, but you could Google anything. So why are you choosing not to be educated?
All right, we're talking to the world famous Phatty Banks on the Mckoy University radio show, the University of Common Sense.
Cuyahoga Community College Gymnasium. We will give the first 300 kids book bags full of school supplies. I will have the rappers, first the DJs and producers. So some of the guys, you have Big Hef, Ezzy, which is in the movie The Land. That I don't know if you heard about that. It's a film that was created here.
Yeah.
Suicide Holler, Bashir Jones will play in the game. Real quick on Bashir. Bashir spoke at my son's 8th grade graduation. One of the 2 kids that I got custody of that I was speaking of earlier.
Yeah.
And he said a poem, and it just moved me. They introduced him as a senior from Martin Luther King High School.
Yes.
So soon as he got finished, I pulled him to the side. He was like, he wanted to meet me. He always tried to meet me. He knew I lived in the Huff area. He came right over to the house right after the ceremony. He got on the microphone, said a few verses he wrote. So he had me all pumped up. Like, man, this is my new artist.
Yeah.
And then he just hit me with, I apologize, Mr. DJ Phatty Banks. I still remember.
Yeah,
he was he was using words like Mr. and Sir.
That's who you are. Go ahead.
But I'm in my 20s, man.
I understand, but hey, you look when you
I was
started.
I was in my, but he was just a respectful young brother, and I could
understand.
see he had something in his eye.
Yeah.
Right then and there. But he said, look, I got a full ride to Morehouse, and I leave for school tomorrow. And I was like, man, get out my basement. Go catch your plane.
Yes.
And I'm proud of you, and you already see the rest.
All right, so he's in the game.
He'll be playing in the game.
What do you mean?
He can play, man.
He'll be doing poetry in the game because he can't play.
He can play. Oh.
Tell him I said so. He can't play.
Well, is you coming out?
So he gonna be on.
So is you coming out?
In the game?
Is you coming out?
That's unusual.
But you know what? My brother's so talented. I bet you he could cross somebody over and say a poem at the same time. And you know what? I like side entertainment, so
yes,
I'm gonna see what I can. But you gotta be the one he cross over though.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Go ahead. With
you
your
gonna come? You gonna
you
come?
Tell, hey, Bashir John, you're probably listening. Don't read no poetry while you're crossing over, okay?
I want you to write the poem, rhyme, just with Mckoy. That's all you gotta do. Rhyme everything with Mckoy. But. Just a lot of the industry, Preem, Gold Rose, King Mooter, Chet Mason. He actually was one of my, I remember he was getting 10-day contracts from the NBA, but he took time out to come play with us in the game. So Chet is now the head coach at Brush.
Yeah.
He is somebody, and I'll get sidetracked because I can talk. I'll get sidetracked easy. But if you ever saw Chet Mason play, you'll be like, man, why why can't he make it in the NBA?
Yes.
But I think I'm on, you got the cup half empty, half full. I'll love to bring his story in front of some other youth.
Yeah.
To show, like, look how talented he is. And he couldn't stick in the NBA. That's why you gotta have something up here. No matter how nice you think you are, it's somebody nicer. Trust me. And it's only so many slots. So I was just like, it was just blowing me away once I saw him play. Like, man, maybe you shouldn't be out here with us. I don't want you to tear up no knee or something out here with us playing with the rappers. But he'll be there, Deuce down the hall.
Oh,
So
come
you
on.
know
Not
Kiki,
Deuce.
Miss Kiki. So
Oh,
look,
please.
Miss
She been
Kiki.
talking about she can play basketball.
Well,
for
I'm
so
talking
long.
about. Well, see, I'm talking about the rappers right now. Now I'm gonna get on. I am like the Stern of the game, Howard Stern. That his name, the commissioner. I'm the commissioner, but I got a little bias towards the producers and the DJs, right?
Yes.
So Miss Kiki, I can call her Kiki.
Yes, absolutely.
And
That's
not
what we call
her, not the DJ, but in the hip hop, I gotta say DJ low key.
All
I can
right,
call her
okay.
Kiki
Yeah,
right
you,
now.
You can call her whatever
She
you
said
want.
she gonna come cross somebody over.
All right, listen.
She said she gonna come make it happen.
Listen, I don't want. Listen, and listen. You don't. Here's what you don't understand. On this show, we have two great people in the studio, and both of them say they can cross people over. Now, Kiki, she has a record from being in school, but let me tell you something. What you don't know.
Okay.
At 103 years old, the oldest talk show host in America, Judge Gene Merrill can cross something over. Hey, Judge, tell him a little bit about your basketball career.
Oh, yes.
Talk
So,
to him.
oh.
Talk to him about you and your sister. Talk to him about you and your sister, Judge.
Yeah, but look. But see, I already feel something coming from her. I know. I know. I had Miss Helen Corley is my grandmother. She was born in 1928, and she got me together. And my great-grandfather, I was 11 years old when he passed, but he was born in 1889, so I'm well seasoned. So I know when I feel.
Talking to that man microphone, Thaddeus. I understand that you talking about your great-grand, but did it cross over? Could they do the crossover? I'm talking about
Granny.
I'm talking about basketball. Are you talking about basketball? Because Judge Gene Merrill Craper.
You want to come out?
Yes.
You gonna
Talking
come
to
out?
microphone, Judge.
You gonna come out?
Yes.
Judge,
well, I'm gonna showcase you.
Quickly, he think we playing. Judge, tell him about the time you played the Stella Wash team, and you and your sister then won. Tell him about that championship.
She got this look in her
Go
eye,
ahead, Judge. Tell him about your basketball career.
Tell me about
quickly.
it. Tell me
What
about
do you
it.
want to know?
About your basketball career.
She wants some specifics.
Basketball.
All of the children in the project that made it, it was because I understood what they were talking about and talked to them in their language when I wanted to get to them. And one of the faults was we needed the father, because I had learned from dealing with him that it takes a woman cannot raise a boy to be a man.
Judge.
To be a man.
Judge.
He needs the father figure,
Okay.
regardless of what it is.
Judge. We don't have that much time at this time. Judge, here's what I want you to do.
That ain't right.
Stella Wash, one of the greatest basketball players in this town. You and your sister now played against them, right?
Oh, yes.
All right,
we were on the team.
All right, and tell them about
from
it.
the central area
Okay.
that played against her particular team. But that didn't have anything to do with it.
And
It was understanding how to get to what they had to offer in
Relationships.
terms of what today was producing for them.
Okay.
And so when we were able to do that, that's how we were able to get to the children. And this
Okay.
is why it's children and not kids that we are dealing with.
Now you know I'm messed up now for the rest of my life. I probably won't say kids. I could be anywhere.
Listen, for the sake of she's not gonna tell you about her basketball career right now. That she played forward and all that and could still cross over. She's not gonna, cause you got her so deep into your conversation on.
That's why I know we gonna have a conversation.
Absolutely, but for the sake of time,
Yes,
tell
sir.
us about.
Okay, so my DJs and producers, I got Steph Floss. Steph Floss will be coaching. OG Ron C will be coming up from down south.
I was trying to say, I know Steph Floss ain't gonna grab no basketball. Go
Now
ahead.
Floss used to come up from Columbus back in the day. He supported the games back in the day. So stop it. See, you gonna get yourself in trouble, man. Ryan Wolf, he DJs for the Browns. Ric Flair, Mill, Fitted, Phenom, KY, Rami, DJ Chicago, 1+2 from Radio 1. Corey Grand got on the phone with me. Matlock, Mike White from Clockwork, DJ Ball, and Miss Kiki is on my list right here that say they going to come on the 24th. We going to all come together, have a good time. I'm going to have the youth cheerlead for both teams. I'm going to have one of my young youth Renaissance DJs DJ the event. So I want everything about it to be adult driven. It's for the kids. I'm glad we're doing it again. I'm glad it's different when you have to present and ask to work with youth or children, and it's a little different relationship when they call you to come work with their youth. So,
All right, so the game, how much is it going to cost me to get in
it's absolutely free, man.
Wait a minute, you telling my million, man,
I don't want your money.
You're going to be in trouble. You telling my millions of listeners that the game that they're going to see when?
It's September 24th.
And it's free of charge?
It's 4 to 6 because it's about the kids. I want you to bring the babies. I remember when we tried, Harold will tell you the first game.
Wait a minute. Let's get clear on one thing. Is it free or does it cost?
It's free. It is free.
So you're inviting all the people to come out?
I'm inviting the city. I know that song. That's some of my kids
all
right there.
Yeah.
But again,
cut it down a little bit for
first,
right now. You bring it back
first 300 kids through the floor. So when you come through the door, say you're a family, you got 5 kids. We're gonna hand you 5 tickets. Okay? So you don't have to sit in the stands with the bags when you leave the game, or if you stay for the whole game or leave, you would then go get your bag of school supplies.
Fatty,
Okay.
So you tell
my
me,
goal is
Go ahead.
500 kids, but I need my city, I need my other entertainers, anybody from the hip hop community to donate. I believe we could pull off 500 kids though with book bags.
All right, so you're giving away all these book bags. You're having all these celebrities. It's this great activities going on, and the way we can donate, and it's all free, the book bag and all, but the way we can donate and be a part of it is with your
GoFundMe.
Talk to me.
GoFundMe, Phatty Banks School Supplies Drive.
And Fatty,
Yes,
I
sir.
can tell you right now, I'm going to become a part of your GoFundMe. You know why? Because on your reputation alone, on what you do in the schools and what you do in the youth and what you do for the programs and what you do for the music, man, anybody, listen, here's a challenge right now. Anybody that knows Phatty Banks and knows what he is doing and has been doing for all these years and is still doing uplifting our youth, go to that GoFundMe account.
Phatty Banks School Supplies Drive.
All right.
In my broadcast voice.
All right, I love it. I love it. All right, Fatty, we got to go, but then you got the last closing argument.
I don't have no arguments. I appreciate you having me down here. I appreciate, and I'm going to do this a lot more as far as getting out and doing a lot more PR about what we're doing in the city and the community.
Fatty, you're welcome here anytime. I need to talk to a small businessman, business opportunities. Go right ahead.
Well, I had an honor to introducing to you guys today on the Art McCoy Show, Brother Virgil Bobo, and he's the CEO of Royal Chimp Entertainment and Fashions. Go ahead, tell them a little bit about yourself, Brother Virgil.
Yeah, I'm just a small businessman with a few ideas that my partner Harold is helping me liquidate here. The real idea behind Royal Chimp, and it kind of coincides with Mr. Banks' story. He said he was #1 in his lane. I believe everyone in life is chasing a crown. You know, it's not going to look like everyone else's. But you see how he got his crown was that he was chasing happiness, and everyone was blessed with the skill, and everyone uses that skill to make progress, and then the royalty is formed, and then everyone will be #1 in their lane. So basically, that's the mission statement and philosophy behind me and Harold's first project, Royal Chimp, and we look to do a lot with it.
All right, as I see Royal Chimp, I see you have a big crown that shows that you are royal. And let me tell you something right now. Man, I'm looking at this lineup that you have. Tell us more about your small business.
All right, so the acronym CHIMP, Chasing Happiness is Making Progress. It was inspired about 10 years ago when I was working in the warehouse. Me and a pal of mine, Mr. Hillman, that's what his name was, and we were just trying to use our ideas because everyone wants to, feel number one about something, and brand awareness is important. But one thing about brand awareness is that it should have a meaning behind it. So, and when people buy clothes, they're wearing that idea or that brand, and I believe Royal Chimp is a brand that everyone can relate to wanting to be number one or wearing a crown.
All right, so you have a full line of merchandise?
Small now, but as time moves on, it will evolve.
Well, let me give you a personal story of that I think will be encouraging to Royal Chimp.
Chimp. Chimp.
Royal Chimp.
There you go.
All right, my daughter, she went to Kent State in fashion, and I said, Lord, that's gonna be some money that is gonna be wasted. And what happened was, she went through, graduated, got out of school. To make a long story short, she started her own clothing line called Cupcake Mafia. Just like the premise that you have, everybody want to be what?
Royal.
Everybody want to be royal. She took that premise, and now she's all over the world. In China, has 3 stores in Atlanta, and doing it. So I know the success that you can have, brother. So tell us more about it.
It's everyone's own story, and I just took it and put it together. My own story is that I never gave up until I found something that I like doing every day and getting out of the bed. And that's what it's about, having values. We talk a lot on this show about, children listening to hip hop and that influencing their thoughts and their ideas. But, values, culture, all those things is what really motivates us to get up and go to work in the morning, And eventually, in the long run, we all want that crown.
So if I want that crown, if I wanted to wear a beautiful T-shirt with that crown, how would I get it, brother? I mean, I want one.
All right, so you can go to www.rchmp.com and click on it, and pick the shirt you want.
All right, you have a line for male and female.
Yes.
So male and female can click on what?
www.rchmp.com.
Wow, I'm
I mean, you can't be a king without a queen, right?
Absolutely. So, and to say that you're referencing to what?
Everyone wants to be great.
All right. Okay. All right. So, in other words, if I'm going to get one for me, I need to get one for my wife, my queen also, and hook her up also.
And the little princes and princesses as well.
All right. Man, I'm finna spend some money with you, Bobo. No doubt about it. And so that is absolutely great. And I'll tell you, just recently, my daughter went over to China and started she's having her a clothing line manufactured straight from China, and I can just see where your line could go. Man,
yeah, I've been
who developed this?
My pal Harold there. It was my idea, and like I said, he believed in me, and he put it in front of my face and said, "We can do this."
Oh, so that's the lineup. So I go to your website and I can see all the designs and what we want.
That's correct.
Wow, I'm looking at it now.
We got like 50 now, and by the beginning of the year, we plan to have another 50 more. So we're gonna have a lot of different choices: short sleeve, low sleeve, hoodies, sweatshirts, hats.
Yeah, we're gonna do something special with that crown.
Yeah, so this is so
And we're gonna get back to the community. So that's why yesterday when I was out street promoting at Superflies, that's why I had the Royal Chimp T-shirt on. If you notice, so we're gonna start getting out
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
We're gonna be at the basketball game on the 24th. We're working with Phatty so we can get some shirts in the schools for the kids. And we're just gonna make sure that Thanksgiving and Christmas is real good. So we're gonna get back.
everybody was wondering where you got that T-shirt from with the crown on it because we weren't familiar with that.
They will be.
Huh?
We're gonna make sure they get familiar. So
Yeah.
Attractive.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
it's in our heritage. So that's where we come from.
Yes, it is. No doubt about it. Wow. Look at that line up there. Tell us a little bit about the lineup, brother.
Oh, go ahead, Harold. Tell him.
Oh, okay. Well, initially we started off with just the T-shirt, and then after we got good feedback on the T-shirt, I said, okay, well, fall's coming. This is Ohio, so we started getting into the sweatshirts and the hoodies because I know right now, that's what it's about. We right at the beginning of September, so we want everybody to go to the website, check out the fall fashion, and then by the top of the year, we'll be getting ready for the spring real early. So we'll come out with some shorts, and right now we're looking at sweatpants and possibly even getting into blue jeans. But right now it's ground roots. So the big thing was come to the show today to put the word out there so your millions of listeners to know to start looking out. In this way, as we do more stuff in the community, they'll see that logo and they'll see those banners and they'll see other people wearing it, and we can have our own little fashion mecca right here in Cleveland, Ohio. So far, we rock everybody else stuff. We watch New York and LA, we watch TV, and they tell us what's cool, and then we run out and go get it. But very rarely do you see us coming up with our own and rocking our own stuff first, and then letting them other big cities get it after us. Why not? Why we can't be the innovators? So that's what my whole thought process was.
Yeah, you're rocking your own brand and branding.
You gotta eat what you cook.
Yes, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. So I'm loving every bit of it. So we will definitely let our millions of listeners know about it. Brother Bobo, I'm going to give you the last word on this brand.
Yeah, and I'm just going to say what the mission statement is here. To establish royalty is to become great in life. The only way to become great in life is to chase happiness. Everyone was blessed with the skill. Use that skill to make progress, and the royalty is formed. And that's what Royal Chimp is all about. So wear it.
Wear it. So, Brother Bobo, so if I go online and order it by next week, I can have me on a branded T-shirt from Royal Chimp?
That's correct.
Yeah, right now it's averaging 2 days for delivery. If you put your order in on Monday, it's usually there by Wednesday. Because I've had a lot of people come to me to actually have me do the order for them, and it's always 2 days, and we'll ship it right to your house or wherever you're.
All right, in that great radio voice that you have, which I'm going to steal from you before you leave here, give me your last closing argument.
Have a great holiday weekend.
Be safe.
Go to Royal Chimp, www.rchmp.com, and get a shirt.
I'm going to get a shirt.